What's up, Scoop Podcast? I'm your host, Erica Kruppen, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about fall cleanups. Why? Because we're in September, fall is upon us, kids are back to school. Hopefully, parents are ready to hire the pooper scoopers again. They're ready to not be outside as much, and business can pick up. I don't know about you, but business has been pretty slow for me, and it's been pretty slow for a lot of the people that I've been talking to. Reason being is because summertime, it's difficult. People are on vacation, dogs are on vacation, kids are home, people are outside more, so they're more apt to like pick up the waste. And fun fact, I learned from a local pet store when I was picking up food, the heat makes the dogs want to eat less. So, if the dogs eat less, they're pooping less. I have not fact checked that. So, if you want, go ahead and fact check that to make sure that that's actually real. But I found it incredibly fascinating. So, there's just a lot of variables, but fall time, usually we get another rush. So, I figured this was a timely episode to kind of talk about best practices, what to expect, talk about some marketing, and just kind of gearing up. But before I hop into it, there's some housekeeping, there's some things I want to talk about. I want to give a huge shout out to Jabber, the CRM I use to run, grow, and manage my small pooper scooper business. Jabber I use every day in the day-to-day operations. It helps me keep everything very organized, very streamlined. When my staff is out there scooping, they feel very confident and secure that they know that they're going to the right house. They have the proper notes because of the mobile app, which is really, really nice. We can clock in, we can clock out of the job, we can send customers their on the way text message. We also send them their closed gate photos. And then if anything happens, I'm able to log in to see if they when they arrived, when they clocked out, if for instance, a customer says, "Your scooper never showed up today because I didn't see them on my camera." Have you ever had that happen to you? I've had it happen way more. And I can say, "Oh, Mrs. Jones, they clocked in at this time, they clocked out this time." Maybe the camera didn't pick them up, but they were in fact there. There's a closed gate photo. Did you by any chance go in your backyard to see if there was any dog poop? And they'll say, "Well, no, I just checked the camera and I didn't see it." So if you are looking for a CRM, I would definitely give Jabber a try. Click the link down in the description to get your 14-day free trial. I also wanted to talk about the Equip Expo that is coming up next month in October in Louisville, Kentucky. Let me look at my notes to make sure I have these dates right. So the Equip Expo, I'm going to be at the Equip Expo October 14th and 15th. My husband and I will be there bebopping around. So if you were there and you want to come say hi, reach out to me. We can get together. I would love to chit chat, talk about business, just connect. I've never been to Equip before. It's really not like for me per se, but my husband does tree work. And so that's totally like his jam. But the main reason of why I'm really going is because I wanted to go to the LCR Summit. And that is on October 16th and 17th. And so I believe they still have some tickets left. If you are wanting to have more of like an intimate setting and learn how to grow your business, better business practices, you also want to start working on like social media stuff, I would definitely check it out to see if they have some tickets available. I'm really excited to learn. I'm excited to network. Even though it's not pooper scooper related, it's lawn care, but lawn care is very similar to the pooper scooper industry. And we don't have anything for the pooper scooper industry yet. So I'm definitely going and checking that out. So if you decide that you want to go, make sure you say hi, reach out. I would love to see you. I would love to chat with you. So let's get into it. Let's get into fall scooping. Why is it difficult or different to scoop in the fall here in the Midwest? If you live in a warmer climate, things might be a little bit different. I live in Michigan. I live in the Midwest. And so we have a lot of trees here. It's very beautiful. Michigan is gorgeous, especially when the leaves start to change. You get that fiery red and you get the orange and you get the yellow and or a combination of all the colors. And if you have not experienced a Michigan fall, I would recommend checking it out because it is absolutely beautiful. But what ends up happening is these leaves they fall on the ground and then they cover up the dog poop. And then the winter happens, then the snow goes on top of the leaves, which the leaves are on top of the dog poop. And then the springtime happens and it's just like a situation. It's incredibly difficult to scoop. Lawn and landscapers don't want to pick up the leaves until the dog poop is picked up, but the dog poop is one with the leaves. And so what do? Did the chicken or the egg come first? It's a mess. So a lot of times we're going into some of these backyards and we're literally just having to rake the entire backyard and bag it up because it's a mess. Okay. So when I'm advertising and I'm promoting it, I do talk about that. I let people know, like, if you haven't scooped up your dog poop in a while, it's definitely important for you to do that before the leaves start to fall because it makes it just incredibly difficult and you want to set yourself up for success. So I want to talk about, some other challenges. So we talked about the leaves falling. So leaves are really good at camouflaging the dog poop. And for me personally, this is the time of the year where we find that we get more complaints because we go in and we scoop the yard and the leaves have fallen. And so it kind of blends in with the leaves because the leaves are starting to turn brown. So they blend in with the dog poop and then they're covering the dog poop. And then the wind blows and then the dog poop is exposed. The customer's texting you like, you missed piles. So you want to make sure that you have a disclaimer in your policies and procedures, letting people know, like, if we can't see it, we can't scoop it during the fall due to the leaves and debris. There are times that we will not be able to see piles. Please understand that we do the best that we can and have those conversations, set the expectations. Even though you do set the expectations, you have the conversations, customers still will complain. Just know it happens. This is what happens during this time of the year. So don't beat yourself up too much, but definitely do your due diligence. The yards will take longer because it's not as easy to scoop. And when the seasons start to change, sometimes dogs, their pooping patterns start to change as well, which I've noticed, which is kind of weird. I don't understand it. If you're watching this on YouTube, and you understand that and you're like, I know why, drop it in the comments and let us know because I'm curious of why this happens. I get it with the snow because some dogs don't want to go out into the snow. They just want to like poop on the patio or on the sidewalk. Like, I totally get that. But like, why does that happen in the fall? And in the fall, we kind of get this like warm fall where right now we have the Indian summer where it's like cold in the morning and then it gets hot by like 2 p.m. But once you get later into the fall season, when we're getting closer to the winter, the temperatures drop low enough to where it like the poops can freeze. Like, for real, they really can freeze. And if you're scooping that house earlier in the morning before the sun has had a chance to like hit the ground, let the ground kind of thaw out or let the piles thaw out, sometimes the poops can get a little bit frozen to the ground, which will make scooping more challenging. And at times you won't be able to get the piles up, not all the time. But then by the time the homeowner comes home, the sun has come out, everything is melted, everything's beautiful, and they're like, "Hey, you didn't get that piece of poop. Why didn't you?" Well, at 8 a.m., 8:15 a.m., everything was still frosty, everything was still frozen, but now it's nice and warm. So those are some other challenges that you have to deal with. Be prepared to have those conversations. If you can be forward thinking, create literature that will explain that to your customer, or even better, if you can do video, explain that to your customer via video. And fun fact, I'm making some changes with what I got going on here with I hit the microphone with the podcast and how I'm structuring things. I'm coming up on my 100th episode here soon. That means I've done almost 100 episodes, which is crazy. And I've just been trying to like figure this out, figure out the podcasting, figure out the social media, figure out like what I'm doing in the content space and what the future of Crouppin's Poopin' Scoopin' social media and Erica Crouppin is. And I finally have some clarity of what it is that I really, truly, truly, truly want to do. Because I've thought to myself, I would love to put a course together. I would love to put a course together for pooper scoopers and show you how to grow and build your pooper scooper business and do all of that. In theory, it sounded like a really good idea. But I have just come to terms with that's not my path. If I really wanted to do it, I would have already have done it. Dreaming of starting your own holiday lighting business? Bright Factory has you covered. Introducing the ultimate holiday lighting business in a box. Get ready to light up your community with everything you need to succeed. A complete brand identity, a sleek website, and fully wrapped trailer jam-packed with supplies and equipment. We're talking top-notch uniforms, eye-catching marketing material, and world-class training. Plus, custom videos for your team to ensure they're ready to shine from day one. Ready to turn your holiday lighting dreams into a reality? Visit brightfactory.com today and let Bright Factory light the way to your success. William with Poop Scoop Millionaire, he's put together a course over on school. I see how organized it is and how beautiful it is. And him and Levi are a 7-figure pooper scooper business. I'm like looking at it and I'm like, I can't compete with that, nor do I want to compete with that. And so it just opened my eyes to make me realize that I want to still keep creating pooper scooper content. I absolutely want to because I love you guys. And this is how I was able to become a business owner. I'm still going to do that, but I really enjoy the social media side of things. And I enjoy making videos. William and Levi flew me out to Spokane, Washington to create some content for them for their business. And I'm like, this is it. Like, this is what I want to do. So the reason why I kind of, I don't know, got squirrely. If you are a person that's struggling with making videos and you're like, I don't really like to be on camera, but I want videos, I have 2 options for you. This is like breaking news. I'm just kind of getting this started. I don't quite have it all figured out yet, but I'm getting it figured out. I can either help you how to create the videos and teach you if you don't know how, or if you want somebody to create the video for you to be like the on camera presence, I would love to do that. You have your script written out, you have exactly what it is that you want said. If you want somebody like me to do that for you, wear your brand shirt, I can do that. If we get too froggy, maybe I'll paint my nails the same color. That's what I did for Swoop Scoop. My husband's like, "Oh, we're taking requests now." I'm like, "Calm down, sir. Orange isn't my color. Pump the brakes." If you're interested in that, let me know. If I get a lot of people that want it and I know that this is like, okay, this is a thing. People want this, we can totally make it happen. Go ahead and email me at kps.mediallc@gmail.com. So it's kps.mediallc@gmail.com. Done with plugging myself. Let's go back to it. So you have the literature, maybe you have some video, maybe you reached out to me and you're like, "Hey, can you create a video for me?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." I sent it over to you. So your customers are educated. So you kind of have that covered. And then you're also having to deal with shorter days because the days are getting shorter, obviously. The sun's coming up later and it's going down sooner. So if you had a route that had 30 houses that you could do in 8, 9, 10 hours, and you don't have that much daylight, now you're going to have to figure out like if you're going to have to shift the schedule, what you're going to do for your fall and winter schedule. So you want to start thinking about that now. Oh, and I didn't really mention the mud because sometimes in the fall it starts to rain a lot, so you can deal with like the muddy yards. And we all know what happens when you have a muddy yard. It's like, is it poop? Is it mud? I'm not really too sure what's going on. And let's talk about marketing your business because fall has lots and lots of potential. In springtime, we get the spring rush. It gets really busy. That helps set us up for success for the rest of the year. But we also can get rushes in the fall because, like I talked about in the beginning of the episode, kids are going back to school, people aren't outside as much, people aren't on vacation, dogs are home, all the things. This is a really, really good time to start advertising your business. I want you to start now because you want the people to be able to find you when they need you. And there's a lot of people that still don't even know about this business. So create content, keep posting multiple times a day. And you're like, I already posted that once this week. Who cares? Repost it. If it gets any bit of engagement, 1 or 2 likes, that's great. Post it again. post it again and keep reposting. And you just want to take this time to make sure that you're dedicating time and energy. Posting one time a week is just, it's not acceptable. It's not good enough if you want free organic exposure. If you want to pay for advertisement and you want to pay to have stuff pushed out, great. Go ahead and do that. But if you don't want to spend a bunch of money, you're going to have to spend the time, post the content. And once you get a good schedule and you get a good flow to it, it's really not that serious. I used to overthink my content so much. And then I talked with Stephanie from Turd Nerd, and she's like, I just post. Like, I don't really think about it too much. I just post whatever. And she just makes it super simple. So if you're a person that's overthinking things, oh my, like literally just post. Just post it, you know? And if you're like, Erica, I don't know what to post, I'm so confused, I'm going to give you some ideas, okay? You want to do some before and afters. Do some before and afters. If you have customers right now, take some before and after pictures. Okay. Fall tips for pet owners. Like I was talking about earlier with like the leaves falling on top of the dog poop and then the winter buildup happening with the snow and then the thaw. You could talk about that. Also, you can offer seasonal promotions, whatever that may be. If you're running a special, if you're running a refer a friend, whatever, do something like that. You can also do behind the scenes. People love the behind the scenes content. And you might be like, who wants to see that? Somebody that wants to use your service. They want to see what you're about. They want to see your personality. They want to see that you're sanitizing your equipment. They want to see what you're doing with the dog poop. They want to see if you close the gate, stuff like that. Like just the little things that you're like, I don't really find that very interesting. People are nosy and they want to see what's going on. Create that kind of content. And then some type of like educational. If you're like, I don't know anything about dogs, I just know that I want to scoop dog poop and I'm not really super educational, go on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, and look for accounts that you follow or you should follow. You like your local vet office, your local doggy daycare. And if they're posting content, like you want to follow them if they're consistently posting. If they're not consistently posting, then this isn't going to work. But find a good page that's local to you that's putting good educational content because if it's a vet office, in theory, they should be putting out good content that is like keeping your dog healthy, tips and tricks, worms, parvo, like whatever it may be. Share their stuff on your business page. So now you're engaging with the community, you're helping out another small business, creating a connection, you're sharing that content onto your business page, and so hopefully your viewers can learn something. So you're giving some type of value. I feel like that's like a jam-packed, that's a value strategy right there. I love to do that. I do that all the time. And that's my lazy way to have content for the day. And this is also a time of year where people are going to start asking questions about the winter. They're going to think about canceling their service because, like, can you actually scoop poop in the winter? Yes, you can. So you want to have a good strategy for upselling or for downselling. So if somebody's like, hey, I'm going to cancel for the winter, you could try to see if they would be willing to go on for every other week, once a month, bucket service, because you want to keep them on your roster. And then you explain to them, yes, we still scoop through the winter. We get what we can get while we're out there. But when the snow does melt or the ground thaws, you are our priority, and we are going to get any and all of that waste picked up before we take on any new customers. Because during the springtime, when we get a thaw, our business gets very, very busy and spaces are very limited. But with you staying on with us and supporting our company, we're able to take care of you. You are our priority, and you won't have to worry about anything when that spring thaw happens. So get your spiel ready. Be ready for those conversations because they are going to happen. All right. So I just really like to be as prepared as possible, plan ahead, create verbiage so I can copy and paste because it's like you have the same conversations over and over and over again. Don't beat yourself up. Don't get discouraged. Complaints are going to happen, but you definitely want to minimize that. Communicate with your customers. Go hard in the paint on the content. Let these people know that your business exists. Shamelessly plug yourself. If a post that you post does well and it gets like 2 likes, hey, take it. Keep reposting it, okay? Not everybody's going to see your stuff all the time. So, all right. I hope that helps. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to wrap this one up. Before I do, like I was talking about earlier, about with my content strategy and kind of what I'm doing, I am now taking this more seriously. And for those of you that are listening, you're like, what are you talking about? What do you mean now you're taking this more seriously? For the most part, this podcast truly has been a labor of love. Jobber has truly helped out the podcast with the sponsorship. So I've been able to reinvest that money into it. But I have a vision now. I know exactly where I want this to go. And with that, I need to grow the podcast because behind the scenes, you guys, like it's a business, right? I have KPS Media, which is an LLC, and that's what my media stuff is run under. And with that, I need to promote better. I need to eventually hire an editor for like my shorts and my YouTube videos, not the podcast, because Mr. Producer takes care of the podcast. But there's just like a lot of things that I'm thinking about and how I need to start getting some help because I truly, truly cannot do all this on my own. And the Apple and iTunes reviews help out huge. I don't think you guys understand how important these reviews are because they help potential listeners see like what the podcast is about and see if you recommend it and the value. So if you're listening to this and you feel it in your heart and you're listening on Apple Podcast, if you please could leave me a well-worded 5-star review, that would be absolutely amazing. I would truly appreciate it. Put a lot of effort into this podcast. I put a lot of thought into it, and I want to keep this going. I do. I really do. I had a tough conversation with myself and say like, what are we doing with this podcast? Because you're tired, you're exhausted. It's financially it's becoming a financial burden, and I don't want that. I don't want that because this podcast I know has helped so many people, and the feedback and just the conversations that I've had with you guys. So I have to be better about promoting. I have to be better about asking for reviews. I have to be better about talking about my sponsorships and get more engaged in the community because that is what needs to happen. So thank you guys so much. I hope that this one brought you some value. And until next time, bye.